to the Gambling Parlor. It's Week 18 Early Line Show here with your boy Jesse. The final week of the NFL season is upon us. Can you believe it? We're actually in the final week of the NFL regular season. Where did the time go? Rolling in the new year, 2026 is just around the corner. The holidays are over, and we're getting ready for playoff football. And we've got several games this week that have the playoff implications to them. They're basically de facto playoff games. Two games this week will decide the division winner with the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then we also have the Sunday night football game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we will be live streaming during that game right here on Dead Money Sports. So be sure to join us for that live stream as we go over the results of Week 18 and enjoy that final game of the regular season. But we've got the early lines up for this week's games. Now, obviously, there are some injury concerns regarding some of these games, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that, but we'll give our best opinion on what we like and what we don't like as of right now, and we'll make the determination on where to go with those games as we get more information regarding who's in and who's out. One of the big injury reports or players that aren't going to be playing is Justin Herbert. Will not be playing for the Los Angeles Chargers against the Denver Broncos this week. Lamar Jackson is still be determined. So it's going to be Trey Lance for LA, and could potentially be Tyler Huntley, Snoop Huntley, once again for the Baltimore Ravens, who was able to get it done for them in that big game against the Steelers. I mean, against the against the Packers, and the Steelers losing to the Browns opened the window up for this Week 18 matchup in Pittsburgh. Now, when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, some interesting developments that I was not aware of was that if the Atlanta Falcons won last night, which they ended up holding on and winning that game against the Rams after the Rams made a furious comeback, if the Atlanta Falcons win again in New Orleans, regardless of who wins the game on Saturday between Carolina and Tampa Bay, Carolina will be the NFC South champion. So we're going to get the game on Saturday, but the actual T-shirts and hats for the NFC South title won't come out until the conclusion of the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints. And it's surprising, both teams having been eliminated from the playoff contention quite a few weeks ago, have been playing probably their best football. Saints on a winning streak, Falcons on a winning streak. So we're going to get an interesting game. I think both teams are going to compete. Saints are trying to build a culture. Falcons have no first round draft pick, so they're trying to build a culture themselves. So it's going to make for some interesting games. And then we've got some other things that could determine who the number one seed is in the AFC and the NFC. So we've got quite a bit going on. We've got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. That's potentially for the number one seed and the NFC West title. So just a lot of stuff going on this week. But let's get into these lines for Week 18 and start getting into some of these matchups that we like. And the first game on the slate starts at 1:30 on Saturday, and that is that Carolina Panthers Tampa Bay game. Total is 44. The line is now sitting at Bucks minus 2.5. Bucks are the home team. I originally liked it when it was Carolina +3 and the over 43.5. As you can see, the line is now moved. It's now 44 and Tampa Bay minus 2.5. I still like Carolina, though. I'm going to go with the Panthers in this one. I think they're just playing a much better brand of football right now. Tampa has not been able to stop the run at all over the last few weeks, something that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have normally been very good at. playing the run, they have not been good at it at all. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers have a great running game. If not for some uh, bad turnovers by Chuba Hubbard, they potentially win that game in Seattle. So I don't think that final score was indicative of exactly how that game was played out, because without those uh, costly turnovers by Carolina, they very well could have won that game and had this division locked up. So I like Carolina in this one. I'll take them on the money line. Give me the money line because I don't think we need the points. I think they're going to win straight up. As it goes for the total, I originally liked the over 43.5. I still like it, as I think both teams will be able to move the ball. I think we're going to see some scoring in this game. Defense for Tampa Bay has not been very good. Carolina's passing offense has improved, their running game has improved, and the passing offense for Tampa Bay should be pretty good if Baker Mayfield can just avoid the turnovers that have plagued this team over this losing streak. I know they're at home, so they're getting a little bit of points here, but Tampa has not been friendly to the Buccaneers lately, and I think that continues. I just think they're in a downward spiral right now, and I think that continues. So give me the Carolina Panthers on the money line, and give me the over if you can find the 43.5. Next up, huge game, and this one will not have any other games I think factoring in because the Rams lost, so they cannot leapfrog either of these two teams for the division title or the number one seed. And I don't think Chicago can get the number one seed or Philly can get the number one seed. They're battling it out for the where they're going to be in that division, what seeding they'll have. But so Seattle and San Francisco off a big win on Sunday Night Football against Chicago. Same thing. Seattle on Sunday won a game against Carolina Panthers where they created several turnovers to get themselves the win. Rashid Shaheed injured in that game. That could be significant. He hasn't been lights out on the offensive side of the ball, but where he has really benefited this Seattle team is in special teams, giving them great field position. He's actually given them some non-offensive scores. So definitely something to keep an eye on whether or not he's going to play. And I believe it was a concussion. So the likelihood that he plays in this game, being that it's a Saturday game, is very low, as he has to go through the protocol now in order to even be available. So I doubt he's going to be there. I do still like Seattle here. San Francisco has not been the best against the spread at home, although they did cover the game against Chicago on Sunday Night Football. The line now sitting at a consensus -1 for Seattle, total 49.5. I like the under 49.5 as I think this is going to be a defensive game, as I think Seattle's defense should be able to slow down San Francisco's offense. We got to see if Trent Williams is going to play for San Francisco. He came out of that game Sunday night with a leg injury that could keep him out of this game. George Kittle didn't play. So we got to see who's going to be available for San Francisco. But I do like the under. I think San Francisco's defense could create a turnover or two. The loss of Rashid Shaheed could certainly make it a little more difficult for JSN to get open without that outside deep threat with Shaheed on the field. I think they may rely on the run game a little bit more with Walker and Charbonnet, which will chew up clock. So I really like the under 49.5 in this Seattle-San Francisco matchup. But I would also take Seattle on the money line if you want to side in this game. The other games that have major playoff implications for both sides, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. The line is now consensus -3.5 for Baltimore. Pittsburgh has taken several losses on the offensive side of the ball. DK Metcalf has been suspended. He will not be available. Their wide receiver, Austin, I believe, is out. Darnell Washington is now doubtful. TJ Watt may not play. They've lost several key players on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. Meanwhile, outside of Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens are actually quite healthy as a team overall. So I really like Baltimore here. I originally liked it -3. It's now sitting at -3.5. If you can find the -3, take that. And then the total is sitting at now it's 41. I originally liked the over. It was 42. It's now dropped to 41. I'll still take the over in this one. This is a 24-20 game. 24-20 Baltimore. I like Baltimore minus the points in this one. I really like it better if you could get the 3, but -3.5. This game could be decided by 3. But I think it's a 4-point win for Baltimore, 24-20, and the over 41. Denver at home taking on the Chargers. Talked about it before. It is now going to be Trey Lance at the quarterback position for the Chargers. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos need this game. They need to win, and they need New England to lose. Or they need to win. If they win, they are the number 1 seed. If they lose and New England wins, then New England would be the number 1 seed. So they need to win, or they need New England to lose if they were to lose to be the number 1 seed. Now, this game was originally +7 when it was Justin Herbert was thought to be playing. Now that he's out, this line has moved dramatically. It is now sitting at -12.5 for Denver. I like the Chargers in this one. Their defense is still really good, so I don't expect Denver's offense to have much success. Meanwhile, Trey Lance, he's a veteran backup quarterback. He's played with the 49ers. He's played with the Cowboys, now with the Chargers. I think he's going to fill in just fine. I expect them to run the ball and try to really use their offensive line and their dual running backs for the Chargers to mitigate some of the responsibility on Trey Lance's shoulders, and I think he'll be able to move the ball. We've seen this Broncos team commit a bunch of penalties in the secondary that could certainly give the Chargers free first downs and free field position that could potentially lead to points. So I like the Chargers. Let me update this. Now that it's at 12.5, I like the Chargers. To at least stay within the number. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off the upset and give the give the Patriots an opportunity to steal the division. Now the total is also dropped. It was originally 39. It is now 37.5. Yes, we've got 2 good defenses going up against one another. Give me the under 37.5. I originally liked the over when I thought it was Herbert. But now I expect this to be a very defensive battle. I don't expect both teams to do much. This could be like a 20-13, 2014, maybe even 2017 maybe game for the Broncos. Remember, the Broncos don't blow teams out typically. They've been winning games by 3 points or less a lot of times. This is a division matchup. These two teams know each other well, and they both have reasons to win this game. So although the Chargers are resting their quarterback and Justin Herbert for the playoffs, I think it's more precautionary than anything else. They still have something to play for. Next up, what other big games do we have this week? I guess we can go down the list now. We've got Green Bay going to Minnesota. Green Bay is essentially locked into the 7th seed, so whether or not they're going to have their starters playing in this one, I think they may rest some of their guys, like Josh Jacobs and maybe even Jordan Love and Christian Watson and some of their defenders that have been banged up. They may rest their guys knowing that they're probably going to be the 7th seed regardless, and try to go into that first wild card game with as healthy of a team as possible. So give me the Minnesota Vikings plus the 6.5. And I also like the over 37. It's now gone to 36.5. So give me the over 36.5. But I really like Minnesota plus the 6.5 on this one. That's my side of choice in this game. Indianapolis and Houston. Indy now eliminated officially from the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans, if they win and Jacksonville were to lose to the Titans, Houston could jump up and take the AFC South title away from Jacksonville. So both teams, a lot riding on this game. Not exactly sure who's going to play quarterback for Indy. Phillip Rivers is healthy. Will it be Riley Leonard? Will they bring in the rookie to play the final game, or will they let Phillip Rivers go out there and have one more day in the sun? Indy can only really play spoiler, but I think they've got motivation to go out there and play a good game. Houston has been getting gashed on the ground. They've struggled stopping the run as of late. And although they were able to win that game last week, I think they could have. I mean, we saw the Raiders run the ball all over them. We could certainly see Indianapolis have success in the run game. So I like Indy plus the 10 here. Not really getting involved in the total, as I'm not sure how this game will shake out. But I really like the Indianapolis Colts plus the 10. If you can find 10.5s, it's 10.5 now. Take that, as I do think the offense for Indianapolis will be able to score. I think they'll be able to run the ball, and their defense should have enough success slowing down this Houston offense that can get stagnant at times to keep it within this number. So again, although I think Houston will win this game, I think it's a much closer game, maybe a 3-4 point win. So give me the Colts plus the 10.5. Miami and New England, again, another game where New England needs to win to have any opportunity of clinching the number 1 seed. They're already the AFC East champion after the Buffalo loss to Philly. But New England has struggled in Miami. Now, will Miami actually come out ready to play, or are they going to lay down and be ready for their trip to Cancun? The total 45.5, and the spread is now 10.5 for the minus 10.5 for New England. I like the over 45.5 in this game. If you want to take a side, I would take the points with Miami, as I think they'll be able to run the ball on New England. Quinn Ewers didn't look horrible in that game last week. He looks like he's getting a little more comfortable the more reps he gets with the first team offense in practice. Meanwhile, New England, yes, they do have a reason to win this game, but we could also see them maybe come out a little flat, knowing that they've got the division locked up. But they do need to win this game in order to have a shot at the number 1 seed and the bye week. So both of those games, the Patriots and the Broncos, are in the late window. But I really like the over 45.5 in this one. Kansas City taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. This is just a gross game all the way around. Should be Kenny Pickett for the Raiders. Meanwhile, it's going to be Olodokun for Kansas City. This was 6.5. It's now showing a consensus of 5.5 for the Raiders. I originally liked the Raiders plus the 6.5, as I think Kenny Pickett, serviceable quarterback. Olodokun, not really. He's just filling in. And I also originally liked the over 35.5. It's now sitting at 36.5. We even see in 37s out there. So there's not going to be much defense in this game. So give me the over. If you can find the 35.5, I prefer that. And again, I like the Raiders in the points here. Not a lot of confidence in this game, though. So not sure how much action this game is going to get. This one doesn't have anything other than if the Raiders lose, they get the number 1 pick in the draft. So not much emphasis for them to want to win. I know they've been saying all the right things in the media about how they're don't care about the draft pick, blah, blah, blah. They're full of shit. They're lying through their teeth. They absolutely want the number one draft pick so that they can have first shot at whatever quarterback is available in this upcoming draft. I believe they're talking about Mendoza from Indiana being the number one pick for the Raiders if they get it, because they do need a quarterback, as Geno Smith has not worked out. I think a quarterback coaching switch is what will help change this franchise's fortunes going forward. Next up, Detroit and Chicago. Detroit already eliminated from the playoffs. Chicago, depending on if they win or lose, and if Philadelphia wins or loses, will change their seeding in the playoffs and who they play, although they will be at home since they won the NFC North Division title. But I like Detroit on the money line here. And this line has gone up to 50.5. I like the under 50.5, as I think both teams will look to run the ball and chew clock. Now, Detroit's defense has a lot of injuries, so I need to keep an eye on that. But I think they're going to come out motivated to want to have some sort of good showing as a football team going into the offseason. This is a division matchup, so there is, a little bit of pride involved in beating your division rival and maybe spoiling their playoffs, as they will potentially drop in the seeding if they win. But I like Detroit here. I think we saw a little bit of the issues with Chicago's defense against the 49ers, where they really had no answer to stop the passing game. They got no pressure on Brock Purdy at all. He just sat back there and picked them apart, and I think we could see a very similar situation with this Detroit offense. Now, I am keeping an eye on the injuries, as I said, for Detroit's defense here. So we're going to have to see who's going to be available. But as it stands right now, give me Detroit on the money line. I don't even want the points. And give me the under 50.5 in this game. New York Jets and Buffalo. Buffalo can no longer win the NFC or the AFC East Division title. That's out the window. Meanwhile, I think they may be able to change their seeding of where they're going to be as far as in the wild card, but that's about it. Jets are tanking. The Jets are tanking. Now, this line has moved dramatically, so there may be indications that Josh Allen's not playing. I haven't heard anything. I need to check up on that. It was originally Buffalo -7. It's now Buffalo -11. It's now Buffalo -7, and the line has gone from 39.5 to 38. So that really tells me that it's probably going to be Josh Allen is going to rest this game and maybe some of their other starters. So we need to really keep our eyes on that one. But I still like Buffalo. -7 here. As I said, the Jets are tanking. The Jets are not trying to win. Their coach has made that very clear in his cryptic statements to the fans that we have a plan. Yes, their plan is to get the best possible draft pick they can and pick a quarterback in the upcoming draft. So I have no faith, no matter who's playing quarterback for Buffalo, that the Jets are going to be in this game. So give me Buffalo -7, and I liked the over before. Now it's gone down to 38. Give me the over 38. We could see some defensive scores. Buffalo also lost some guys to injury in that game against the Eagles, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. But I have no faith in this Jets team, and I think you're going to see that as the game progresses, that guys are going to be making business decisions. They're not going to want to go into the offseason injured. You're going to see bad tackling by the Jets. And I think the Buffalo Bills win this game. I know 7 feels like a lot, but they're just a much better team. Pittsburgh and Baltimore we discussed. Cleveland and Cincinnati. I like Cleveland plus the 7.5 here. I think the defense is gonna play well. Myles Garrett's going to do everything to get that sack, get the record. I also like the over 44.5. I don't expect much from the Cincinnati defense. I think Cleveland could certainly score some points in this one, and so can Cincinnati. So I much prefer the over to the side in this one, but I do like Cleveland plus the 7.5 here, and the over 44.5 in this meaningless AFC North matchup. Another meaningless game that only really has draft implications in it, but that's the Dallas Cowboys going to New York to take on the Giants. I hadn't picked a side in this one, but I like Dallas. I mean, I just think Dallas is a better team all the way around. I think their offense is much better. Their defense, will Quinnen Williams be back? I'm not sure. Give me the over 51.5, as I think both teams may score points in this one. I definitely like the over. Again, this is another one of those games where you're going to see a lot of missed tackles, a lot of business decisions being made by these players as they head into the offseason, where they're not looking to get injured in games, especially players that have solidified their spot on the roster for next year. Washington and Philadelphia. Washington eliminated. Philadelphia with the potential to make their seeding spot a little bit better. They can move up to where they're going to actually be playing in the playoffs. This line is moved. It was -8. It's now -7. I like Philly, though. I think Philly's just a much better team, and I think they're going to want to go into this game on a high note. They're not going to want to go into the playoffs losing, and I think they're going to try to play their best game. And the total has dropped. It went from 42.5 to 41, but give me the over. I think Washington may be able to score a few touchdowns in this game. That'll give us an opportunity to hit the over in this one. I mean, I could certainly see this being a 28-20 game. 28-20, 28-17, 27-17. So give me Philly minus the 7 and the over 41 in this NFC East matchup. New Orleans and Atlanta. So now all of a sudden this game has real meaning to it. Atlanta was able to win on Monday Night Football versus the Rams, and the Saints were able to win. But now, depending on the outcome of the Carolina Panthers Tampa Bay game, this game could have very big implications on who gets the hat and T-shirt for the NFC South champion. If Tampa Bay were to win, but Atlanta were to beat New Orleans, Carolina would still win the division. Now, if Carolina wins outright, which I have, that's my prediction. I like Carolina on the money line, so I don't think this game will be as important as it could be. If Atlanta wins, Carolina would still be the NFC South champion, even if Tampa Bay were to win the game on Saturday. I like Atlanta here. It was -1.5. Now it's moved to 3 after their big win on Monday Night Football. Atlanta's playing very well on offense. Their defense is a lot better. New Orleans has been very fortunate. They've played weaker competition. I mean, they beat the Titans last week, who's a bottom of the barrel team in the NFL. They beat Miami. You know what I mean? They've been on this win streak, which you can't knock them for that. But they've been playing inferior competition. Shucks look good, but I think this is where that win streak comes to an end. I like Atlanta here, and I also like the over 43.5. I think both teams score. We could potentially see some turnovers by the offense that lead to short fields, easy points, and Kirk Cousins has been playing well. He has a good connection with Mooney and Pitts and Drake London and Bijan Robinson and Algier. Are going to look to close out their season well. But obviously we also have to keep an eye on that game and who's going to play for both teams, especially Atlanta. If they decide to shut down any of their guys like Bijan or London or any of their key offensive players, that could certainly change my perspective on this game. But as it stands right now, give me the Atlanta Falcons, but give me the over 43.5. Arizona and LA. Again, this game doesn't really have much meaning for either team. Arizona eliminated. Los Angeles Rams can't really advance anymore in the playoffs after losing that game. So not exactly sure who's going to be playing. It was originally, the total was 50. It's moved all the way down to 46.5. I liked the under when it was 50. I think this game has moved way too much though. I still think both teams are going to throw the ball around. So give me the over now, 46.5. Try to catch the middle here as I have the under 50 already. And now I like the over 46.5. This definitely has a 49, 48 point game vibe to it. I certainly think we could see Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona offense slinging the ball around, going forward on fourth downs, not settling for field goals, which could potentially give us an opportunity to get this over. So I really like the over 46.5 in this one. We already talked about the Chargers Denver game. No Justin Herbert. And then the final game, which is an early window game, is Tennessee taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars need this game to clinch the AFC South title. If they were to lose and Houston were to win, Houston would leapfrog them. They would be a wild card and have to play on the road. I do like Tennessee plus the 10.5 here. I think this, and now it's up to 12.5. Wow. I really like it now. But again, we need to see who's playing, who's not playing for Tennessee. And then the total, it's now 47.5. I like the under. I think this is going to be a closer game. I think both defenses come to show up. Jags could potentially come out a little flat and then kickstart it later on in this game. They've shown they have been really good in the red zone, but last week they had 2 turnovers in the red zone. The Jags did. So they need to clean that up. Tennessee has been very opportunistic with their special teams, and they've shown that their offense has turned a corner as they're going into the offseason. They've been playing well. I believe Ward only has 1 interception in his last 4 games, although that strip sack really blew it up. When we were leading, I had Tennessee in that game. Tennessee ended up blowing that lead to New Orleans with some just untimely turnovers and bad play down the stretch. But I still like Tennessee plus the 12.5 now, and give me the under 47.5 in this game. Well, there you have it. That is my take on our Week 18 slate. Again, final week of the regular season. Now, we will be doing the show throughout the playoffs, and we will have live streaming right here on YouTube during the wild card weekend. So be sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you are informed of when we go live and when all these videos drop. We will have the live stream for the Sunday night football game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So be sure to join us for that, where we will be discussing the outcome of all the Week 18 games and where we stand going into wild card weekend. But thank you to everyone for joining me all season long. Let's close out the year with a winning season or a winning week, and hopefully have a winning season in the Circa Million contest. But thank you again to everyone out there. Let's make plenty of money this weekend. Be sure to enjoy the last bit of regular season football we have out there, and take care of yourselves.